So for today, we're going to discuss the statics of fluid system under principles of hydrostatics. So the general rule of statics applies to fluid at rest, but from the definition of fluid, as we all know, that fluid is a substance that continues to deform under the action of shearing forces. In this case, there will be no shearing forces acting, and therefore, all forces exerted between the fluid and solid boundary must act at right angles to the boundary. Why is that? Because we want to have a body which is at rest. So ito yan, malinaw siya. No? We want the body to be at rest. So if that's the case, let's look on these three scenarios. So first, we have a fluid and a solid body. So this is the fluid, okay? And then this is the solid body. Yan. So the fluid has its force, yan, acting on the solid body. And the solid body will react, no? Because we all know that for a body to maintain its equilibrium, it has to have a reaction force, no? Following the principle of Newton. So kaya we want to have a body at rest, no? Because magkakaroon ng reaction force, no? Yun yung ating condition, no? Sa statics of fluids. The same thing if the body is not in this uniform, or should I say naka-straight, no? Kasi dito, yung ating angle, as you see here, naka 90 degrees na kagad, or right angles, no? Yan. Right angles. But on figure B, hindi ganito ang naging scenario. Though solid yung body on the right side, no, solid yung body, and the fluid is acting on the left side. The forces, no, mapapansin niyo yan. Yung mga maliliit na forces natin, ayan, ito, act on the body in such a way na merong, zoom natin, na merong area of that body, let's say in this case, na dito siya mag-act on a perpendicular manner. Yan. And then, that body, of course, will react. Okay? So, katulad lang din siya nito sa letter B. No, na mag-react yung body, and then, at the right angle. So, in this case, mga maliliit yan, and then, pagsasama-samahin natin, of course, we all know that the summation of forces of the fluid is equal to the summation of forces reaction, or reaction forces of the solid. So, kumukuha tayo ng strip, no? Ano yan? Averaging. No? Dito na mapasok yung ating delta or partial derivative. Kasi kumukuha tayo ng certain strip. No? Kasi nga, hindi siya straight line tulad na to sa kabila. And then, dito naman, kung ang ating boundary ay nakaparehas na fluid, let's say, ito, merong isang density 1, ito density 2, of course, mag-react sa bawat isa na magkaiba ng density. Meron tayong force dito caused by the fluid, and the reaction force caused by the another fluid. Kaya nga, ang ginamit dyan na term ay imaginary plane para ipakita na merong magkaibang klase ng fluid. Okay, so we will continue our discussion. So now let's proceed with three possible conditions of equilibrium. A while ago, we discussed the state, no, or the possible scenarios for forces. Now let's discuss with these possible conditions of equilibrium. First, we have what we call the stable equilibrium. So a small displacement from the equilibrium position generates a force producing a righting moment tending to restore the body to its equilibrium position. So parang ganito siya, no? So let's have ito ating stable equilibrium. So yung stable equilibrium natin, so let's have this example. For example, this is yung ating cone. Yan, right, ano ba to? Cone. And then we have a force, no? Because of that displacement, yung sabi dito, diba? A small displacement from the equilibrium generates a force producing a righting moment. So may force tayo, but we know that every body has its weight. Meron tayong weight. So if the force has this, yan, ito yung ating distance, no, yung height natin, and if this weight acts on the center, no, let's say, x distance. So, we could say na yung ating, kapag stable equilibrium, okay, yung ating F times H is equal to the weight times X. So, isabihin yung ating body, babalik siya sa kanyang position. So, kung mag-tend siya na matutumba, so, lalabas na ibabalik siya ng kanyang weight. Okay? That's the stable equilibrium. Next, let's have what we call unstable equilibrium. So, a small displacement produces an overturning moment tending to displace the body further from its equilibrium position. So, let's have that, no? So, next natin is yung ating unstable equilibrium. Unstable equilibrium. Pag unstable equilibrium, kanina, or, yan, napansin natin nga na cone. Ngayon naman, cone pa din siya, pero nakabaliktad na. For example, this is your cone. And then, of course, nga, merong force na mag-a-act sa body. Meron pa din namang weight. No, there's still a weight. And then, same, we have yung ating height, x. And then height, h rather. And then, distance, x. But in this case, yung ating f times x is possible lang naman na yung ating f times x is equal pa din sa f times h rather. Yan. Yung ating f times h, possible pa rin naman siya na equal sa w times x. Ang problema nga lang, okay, since this portion of the body is nasa taas siya, no? So, mangyayari, magkakaroon ng tinatawag na overturning. So, matutumba. No? Matutumba yung ating body. No? And, the location of the centroid ng weight, may iba. May iba na yung location ating centroid ng weight. So, possible, matutumba na siya. So, magkakaroon na ng, hindi na siya babalik sa kanyang original position. Ayan nakalagay dyan. So, the displaced body tending to displace the body further from its equilibrium position, hindi na siya babalik. And then, yung last natin, yung ating tinatawag na neutral equilibrium. Yan. So, neutral equilibrium. So, sa neutral equilibrium, let's say ito yung ating cone ulit. Pero this time, nakahiga. Halimbawa yan. For example, this is our cone. So, let's say meron tayo ditong force. Yan. So, madi-displaced yung body. So, let's say ito yung movement niya. Ayun, i-copy na lang natin. So, madi-displace yung body. Yan. Pero, same pa din na meron siyang weight. Nandito pa din yung kanyang weight. So, nagkaroon lang siya ng displacement. Kasi ito yung point A to point B. No, nagkaroon lang ng displacement. Pero same na same yung kanyang position. Kaya nga neutral. No? The body remains at rest in any position to which it is displaced. Na-displaced lang. So, meron tayong displaced position. So, ito yun. Ito yung ating displaced position ng body. Okay? So, that is the three conditions or possible conditions na equilibrium. In relation dun sa ating static forces or pertaining to fluids at rest. No? Kaya nga, equilibrium yung pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? So, that's the three possible conditions. So, first, the stable equilibrium. Small displacement from the equilibrium position generates a force producing a righting moment tending to restore the body to its equilibrium position. Second, the unstable equilibrium. A small displacement produces an overturning moment tending the displaced body further from its equilibrium position. Ayun nga, tulad nito, na matutumba na talaga. And neutral equilibrium is the body remains at rest in any position to which it is displaced. Okay? So, yun yung ating three possible condition. So now let's talk about pressure. Okay? So pressure is defined as the force exerted per unit area. Okay? So if the force exerted in each unit area of a boundary is the same, the pressure is said to be uniform. So parang katulad kanina. Ito. Yan. Yan. So kung uniform yan, okay, or the same, uniform yung ating pressure. Okay? So, in this case, tama, no, na ganito yung ating equation. So, P is equal to F over A. Therefore, it follows na if we want to compute for the force, that is pressure times area. Okay? So, that is for our calculation. So, in more commonly case, the pressure changes from point to point. We consider the element force delta F to a normal to a small area delta A surrounding the point under consideration. So, dito na papasok yung mean pressure, yung average. So, pag average or mean pressure, so let's say ito yung body na kinoconsider natin. Yan. So, kung projected yan, yung kanyang area, let's say ito yon. Ito siya, halimbawa. Yan. Halimbawa, yun. So, let's say nandito yung ating kung saan tatama yung ating force, no? Ayan, baganyan. Siya, F. So, ito yung ating, so ito yun. Ito yung ating, yan, side view. Yan, force F. So, yung ating area ay yung small portion lang. Yan. Ito. So, yun, no? May counterpart siya na area. So, ito yung ating, kung maliliit yan, dahil kumuha tayo ng maliit na force, so, this will become delta F, ito yung ating delta A. So, kumuha tayo ng mean pressure. So, in this case, no, kukunin lang natin yung kanyang, yung gamit yung calculus, makakompute ulit natin. Babalik ulit tayo dito, no, sa calculation na yan. So, units for pressure is Newton per square meter, pwede naman pounds per square foot, or yung mas madalas gamitin is yung bar kapag matataas na yung value ng pressure, which is 100,000 Pascal. 1 bar is 10 raised to 5 Newton per square meter. Okay? So that's for the value of pressure. Alright, so now let's talk about Pascal's law for pressure at a point. And by considering the equilibrium of a small fluid element in the form of triangular prism, so ito yan, nakikita nyo sa ating illustration, okay, triangular prism yan. Surrounding a point in the fluid, a relationship can be established between the pressure P sub x in the x direction, P sub y in the y direction, and P sub s normal to any plane inclined at any angle theta to the horizontal at this point, or naka-z. At z direction. So, 3 dimension to, yung pinag-uusapan natin. So, ang relationship daw na mapaform ay eto. Nakikita niyo ba? Yan. P sub s equals to P sub x equals to P sub y. That is what we call Pascal's law. Pascal's law indicates that the pressure at a point is the same in all directions and applies to fluid at rest. Take note, fluid at rest. Yung ating pinag-uusapan. So, for us to understand that, kasi, sir, how come that these 3 pressures are equal? No? So, i-consider natin itong triangular prism na to. So, first, ano yung unang sinasatisfy na condition? Dapat daw, that is, fluid at rest or equilibrium. No? Naka-equilibrium condition tayo. So, you have this equilibrium condition. Okay? So, pag sinabi equilibrium, so yung ating mga forces should sum up to 0. So, pag nag-sum tayo ng mga forces, 0. Okay? So, kahit ano pa magiging direction yan. Okay? So, ano ba yun kapag 0? So, since tatlo ito, So, may theta. So, di ba ginagamit natin is summation of forces vertical is equal to 0 and summation of forces horizontal is 0. So, unahin natin, tingnan natin ito. Yan. So, unahin natin ilista yung mga forces. So, meron tayong force along X. That is, ano nga ulit? Ang force using pressure times area. So, that is P sub X, pressure times X, multiplied by area ng X. Ang area along X is, kung mapapansin nyo, ito, delta Z multiplied by delta Y. Okay? So, that is P sub X delta Z multiplied by delta Y. Okay? So, we also have force along Y. That is pressure sub Y, area ng Y. Ano ba yung pressure area sa Y? Area ng Y, ayan, nakikita nyo ba yung guide sa gilid? Ito. Sa pataas. So that is, itong dimension na to na nakikita nyo, delta X and delta Z. So that is delta X, delta Z. Ayan. And then we have the force along the z-axis. O, gawin na lang natin z to. Yan, z. That is P sub S, kasi yun yung nakalagay, no? S. Times area, along z. Ano yung area along z? Ito naka-incline. That is delta z multiplied by delta S. So, delta z multiplied by delta S. So, ito yung tatlong forces. So, paano nang gagawin natin yun? So, gawin na natin yung summation ng forces. So, unahin muna natin, summation of forces vertical is equal to 0. So, ano ba yung mga vertical forces? So, vertical natin ay itong cost ng pressure sub Y at P sub S na merong component. So, if this is yung ating maglalagay tayo ng vertical line, yan. So, malamang ito yung ating theta. If this is your theta. Okay? So, let's solve for the summation of forces along vertical. So, that is F sub Y, pataas yun, no? Minus F sub Z cosine theta is equal to 0. Okay? Vertical, wala naman dito. Horizontal to. But, what is cosine theta? Yun yung magiging question. That is adjacent over hypotenuse. Ano ang adjacent natin? Ito, delta x over the hypotenuse na delta s. So, delta x over delta s. Ayan. So, that is, i-substitute natin. That is P sub Y delta x delta z. Ito, nakikita ba? Ayan. And then, is minus P sub S delta z delta s. Cosine theta is delta x over delta s. So, pwede nating makancel pala yung ating mga delta s. Ayan. Ito din. So, may iwan na lang is P sub Y delta x delta z minus P sub S delta z delta x equals to 0. Okay? So, lipat natin sa kabila. Delta x delta z times P sub Y is equal to P sub S delta z delta x. Yan. So, pwede natin makancel out ito. Parehas sa to. Yan, tsaka to. So, may iwan na lang is P sub Y is equal to P sub S. So, meron na tayong isa. Ito. So, nasatisfy na natin ito. Yan. Ito. Yan. Nasatisfy na natin yung P sub S equals to P sub Y. Ngayon, equal din ba siya sa P sub X? Sige. Tignan natin. So, ngayon naman, tignan naman natin kung magsasum tayo ng forces along horizontal na equal sa 0. So, ano ba yung horizontal? F sub X. Pakanan ba? Yung cos na F sub X, pakanan. So, that is positive. F sub X, dahil ito ay pababa, malamang pakaliwa yung ating F sub Z. So, minus F sub Z. Yan. Kung kanina cosine, malamang kung ito yung component natin, ito yung isa, no? F sub Y. Malamang ito yung ating F sub X. F sub yan, Z sub Y. Ito yung ating F sub Z sub X or horizontal. That is F sub Z sine theta. Yan. F sub Z sine theta is equal to 0. But sine theta is equal to, so tingin tayo ulit dito sa triangle na to. Triangle AED. Kasi din natin kinuha no? Yung ating cosine theta. Kung ating cosine ay adjacent over hypotenuse, malamang ang sine ay opposite over hypotenuse. That is delta Y over delta S. So that is delta Y over yan, delta S. So therefore, yung ating equation will become P sub X delta Z delta Y, yung ating F sub X ito, minus P sub S delta Z delta S. Sin theta is delta Y over delta S. So, pwede nating makancel pala yung ating delta S din to. Ayan. So, may iwan na lang is P sub X delta Z delta Y minus P sub S delta Z delta Y is equal to 0. Yan, naka-equate pa rin sa 0 yan. No? Naka-equate sa 0. So, simplifying further, P sub X delta Z delta Y is equal to P sub S delta Z delta Y. So, dahil nga pareha sila meron ito, we could factor that out. And ang may iwan is P sub X is equal to P sub S. So, equal din. That means ito ay tama. Ito. Yan. Pareha sila. So, it follows na tama ang Pascal's law using this prism or illustration. No, equal. Parehas na parehas. So, anong ini-indicate ito? It indicates that if the fluid is flowing, shearing stress will be set up as a result of relative motion between particles of the fluid. Kaya nga, pag titignan natin to, ang consideration natin, fluid at rest. Ngayon, applicable to, itong Pascal's law na to, given na fluid at rest tayo. However, kung nagpo-flow, which is on the actual, diba? O let's say ito yung ating actual flow. Yan. Or nagpo-flow tayo. Yan. Dito na lang. Next. Yan tayo. Halimbawa, ito daw. Yan. Halimbawa, ito yung ating yan. Halimbawa, nagpo-flow yung fluid. Yan. Yun yung sabi, no? Ano yan? If the fluid is flowing, the shearing stress will be set up as a result of the relative motion between the particles of the fluid. The pressure at a point is then considered to be the mean of the normal forces per unit area, or stresses on three mutually perpendicular planes. So, titingnan natin kung saan siya tumatama. Parang ganon, no, yung result. Okay? Since these normal stresses are usually large compared to shearing stresses, it's generally assumed that Pascal's law still applies. Ganito yan. Let's say ito yung ating flowing fluid. Ngayon, kung kumuha ka ng cross-section dyan, okay, lalabas, ito ang kanyang itsura, no? Yan, let's say yan. Tapos, ito yung inyong flowing fluid. Yan. Bawa yan. Yung ating shearing stresses or should I say yung ating axial forces. Kasi yung shearing forces natin, ito. Yan. Di ba? Yan yun, no? Kung tubig yan at flowing talaga yan, take note, nagpo-flow, mataas ang velocity ng fluid kapag mababa ang kanyang viscosity. No? Naalala ba sa ating Newton's law of viscosity? Now, kung mabilis yan at nagpo-flow lang yan normally, mangyayari is, yung ating mga boundary ay makakaranas ng mga forces, no? Tumatama. Kasi nga, ang consider natin, fluid at rest. Sabihin, at that instantaneous time. Parang ganito yan. So, ito yung kina-consider natin. Yan. So, meron dyan, ganito ang itsura. Yan. Yan, ito. Meron dyan, ito ang itsura niya. So, lalabas na meron tayong mga maliliit na forces. Yan. And it acts perpendicular to that boundary. Yun yung sinasabi dito na, ayan, kapag nagpo-flow daw, mas mataas pa rin yung mga normal stresses. Especially kung nagpo-flow yan to a pipe, no? Siyempre yung consideration yan. So, kung bubuuin natin yan, meron pa yan dito na, let's say ito, yan. So, meron yan dito na along X, yan, or along to the normal, diba, pag ganyan, ganito, tsaka pag ganito, yan. So, kung nagko-flow, ganyan na ang behavior. So, tatama pa rin yan, at magkakaroon pa rin tayo ng normal stresses, not just shear, no? Ito yung effect ng kapag tumataas na yung ating pressure sa loob. Diba? Nalala niyo yung ating discussion ng cavitation and vapor pressure. Kapag tumaas na, para na siya mag-escape. Ito na yon, no? Kung nag-increase yung temperature during the flow, malamang ganito ang magiging behavior niya. Okay? So, that's what this etong paragraph na to indicates, no? Kapag gumagalaw, kasi we are dealing with fluid at rest, pero kung gumagalaw yon, no? Dahil nga yung ating kino-consider pa rin natin na at a point, no, yung mean normal forces per unit area, yun nga yung kumukuha tayo na strip and then analyzing those strips to a certain length, mas mataas pa rin yun compared to shearing stresses. Okay? And that's it for the Pascal's law for a pressure at a point. Okay, so now let's proceed with variation of pressure vertically in a fluid under gravity. So, tandaan, we are dealing with a fluid under gravity. Yeah. If that's the case, we will consider yung ating gravitational constant. Okay, so let's read this one. The illustration shows an element of fluid consisting of a vertical column. So, ginawa niyang vertical column yung ating itsura, no, ng ating fluid. Given na, ayan, meron siyang constant cross-sectional area. Ito, no, nakikita ba? Constant yung kanyang cross-sectional area and totally surrounded by the same fluid of mass density, rho. So, dapat iisa yung kanilang density. Okay? Suppose that pressure P sub 1 on the underside at level Z sub 1 and pressure 2 on the top level Z sub 2. Ayan, nakikita ba? Ito. So, ito, tsaka ito. Ayan. Ito, sa B sub 1 sa baba, ito yung Z sub 1. Okay? Since the fluid is at rest, the element must be in zero equilibrium and the sum of all vertical forces must be 0. So, yun yung kino-consider natin. Okay? So, parang ganun ang lumalabas, no, sa atin sa consideration natin dito sa ating problem. Okay? So, paano yun? So, dahil under to ng gravity, huwag natin kalimutan na meron pa ding mag-a-act na tinatawag natin na weight. Yan. Na dito yon. So, malamang dito yon sa bandang gitna, no? Yung weight ng ating body. And that weight, okay, that weight of the body is equal to mass times gravitational constant. Or, we know from ating fluid property na this is gamma multiplied by the volume or rho g multiplied by volume. Yan. So, yun yung ating consideration. No? Yun yung ating consideration. So, if this is the case, no? So, dahil nga under ito na action ng gravity, kailangan natin maglagay ng reference line. So, nasa sa atin na yan kung ano yung ating reference line. Para saan? Para sa height. So, for example, ito. So, example, ito yung aking kinuwang reference line kung nasaan yung ating G sub 1. Yan, reference line. So, para saan yan? Para makuha ko yung tinatawag nating height difference from elevation Z sub 1 to elevation Z sub 2. Yan. Okay? So, yan na. Ngayon, sabi dito, since the fluid is at rest, the element must be in equilibrium and the sum of all the vertical forces must be 0. Lahat naman to vertical kasi wala naman tayong horizontal forces. So, kung yan yung case, dapat ganito ang kalalabasan. Check natin kung totoo nga. Okay. So, isa-isa muna natin. Ano ba yung mga vertical forces? So, una, caused by the weight. No, vertical forces, weight, that is mass times gravitational constant, or pwede rin gamma times volume, or pwede rin naman siyang rho g times volume. Okay, yun yung una. Next, force caused by pressure sub 1, that is P sub 1 area. No? Kasi cross-sectional area niya ay constant. Constant yan all throughout. Therefore, F sub 2 is pressure sub 2 times area. Okay? So, ngayon, ano nang gagawin natin sunod? Mag-sum na tayo ngayon ng forces vertical na equal sa 0. So, ano bang expression natin? Lahat ng pataas, positive. Lahat ng pababa, negative. So, that is pataas yan. So, F sub 1. Yan, F sub 1 minus F sub 2 minus weight is equal to 0. So, ano yung F sub 1 natin? That is P sub 1 A minus P sub 2 A minus, dahil gumagamit tayo ng area, edi gamitin natin yung may volume. So, pwede tayong gumamit ng gamma volume o pwede naman rho g volume. Pero dahil we want to emphasize yung action ng gravity, edi ito na yung gamitin natin. Itong may gravitational constant. Ito. No? Yan. So, that is minus rho g volume is equal to 0. So, that is P sub 1A minus P sub 2A. Lipat ko sa kabila yung ating rho g volume. So, pwede ko ma-factor out yung A dito. A, P sub 1 minus P sub 2 is equal to rho g. Ano ba ang volume? So, rho g, volume is area times height. So, if that's the case, so, makakancel natin yung area. Tama ba? That is the cross-sectional area nito. Times this height h. Kaya kanina, gusto kong kunin yung height h. So, makakancel ko na yan. Okay, yung A. May iwan na lang is P sub 1 minus P sub 2 is equal to rho g h. Yan. So, ngayon, since alam natin na yung ating height is caused by, kung ito ating reference line, no, na kanina inassume natin, that is negative lahat ng mas mababa, parang mas mataas. Should I say, lahat na sa taas, positive. So, kung ito ay Z sub 2, we assume na ito yung mas mataas yung, we assume na ito yung mas mataas na elevation, yung Z sub 2. So, if that's the case, that is P sub 1 minus P sub 2 is equal to rho g, that is Z sub 2 minus Z sub 1. Okay? And since we are dealing with P sub 1 minus P sub 2, so, pwede natin i-notate na, pwede palang mas mataas. Kasi, we are assuming na, kung gusto natin maging positive yung value na to, di ba? Para if we are targeting that this value is positive, dapat, mas mataas yung P sub 1. Tama ba? if we want, no, if this is a positive value, positive if P sub 1 is greater than P sub 2. Tama? Kung yan yung case, dapat mas malaki yung Z sub 1. No? Dahil magkukos siya ng mas malaking value ng area. So, kung ganon, aayusin natin ito. Aayusin natin yung kanyang positioning. Ang problema, nasa reference line yung Z sub 1. So, if we're going to rearrange this one, this will become P sub 1 minus P sub 2 is equal to negative rho G Z sub 1 and Z sub 1 minus Z sub 2. And that is the same with this, no? Yun nga lang, dito kasi pabaliktad. Parang inayos natin siya in such a way na nauuna yung Z sub 2. Okay lang naman yun. No? Kung gusto nyo na mauuna yung Z sub 1, kasi diba H is assuming na mas mababa to, no? Or pabaliktad, pwede rin naman kung gusto nyo, no? Pabaliktad yung ating Z sub 1, wala namang problema yun. Actually, they are just the same. Now, P sub 1 minus P sub 2 is equal to negative rho G Z sub 2 minus Z sub 1. It indicates na pwedeng palang maging positive, pwede rin maging negative yung basa natin saan? Sa height. Yung height H na yan. Depende kung nasaan yung inyong reference line. Okay? So, walang ano doon, walang problema doon. Sabi nga dito, thus, in any fluid under gravitational attraction, pressure decreases with the increase of height Z. So, habang tumataas daw yung pressure, tumataas, bumababa yung kanyang height. So, ngayon, dahil una, in-assume natin dapat mataas, so ganito kinalabasan ngayon kung pabaliktad, eto yon. So, kaya mas tama na gamitin etong formula na to kung i-consider natin yung context na habang tumataas ang pressure, bumababa ang pressure, tumataas yung ating height Z. Okay? Kasi we assume na mas mababa yung P sub 2, edi dapat mas mataas yung Z sub 2 dito sa kabila. Okay? So that is for the vertical, or should I say, variation of pressure vertically in a fluid under gravity. So for us to easily or understand that more, sagutan natin tong sample problem na to. So, a diver descends from the surface of the sea to a depth of 30 meters. Yan. What would be the pressure under which the diver would be working above that at the surface, assuming that the density of seawater is 1025 kg per cubic meter? So, meron daw seawater, no? So, let's say ito yun. Ayan. Ito yung, ito yung ibabaw na seawater. Ngayon, may diver daw na magde-descend to a height of 30 meters. Yan, yun yung sabi sa problem. Let's say ito yun. So, 30 meters. So, ito yung, let's say ito yung diver. Yan. So, ito yung diver. Yan. Stickman. Okay. Magdadascend daw siya 30 meters. So, meron tayong malamang. Meron tayo dito, let's say, 0.1. Ito yung ating 0.2. Okay. So, nasa sa atin ngayon kung paano natin i-dictate yung kung ano yung ating reference line. Since pababa ito, so, I will assume na ito yung aking reference line. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, lahat ng dimension ko pababa or lahat ng sukat ko pababa will be a negative value. Okay? So, if that's the case, gamitin, ang tinatanong lang sa atin is, what will be the pressure under which the diver would be working above that at the surface, assuming the density of seawater is eto. Ang density daw ng seawater binigay is 1025 kg per cubic meter and remains constant. Sabi habang lumalalim, same yung density. Okay? So, paano yun? So, if that's the case, let's use this, yung formula natin. Ulit yan. P sub 1 minus P sub 2 is equal to negative rho G Z sub 2 minus Z sub 1. Ayan. So, sabi natin, ang difference ng height or h ay ito because of this elevation. Hindi ba ito rin yun? No? Yung ating h na yan. So, this is our h. So, i-rewrite natin. P sub 1 minus P sub 2 is equal to negative rho g h. So, dahil bumababa tayo, so P sub 1 minus P sub 2 is equal to negative rho natin 1025 kilogram per cubic meter multiplied by 9.81 meter per second square times, ano yung h? Since pababa tayo sa ating reference line, this h is a negative value, negative 30 meters. And the answer is a positive value. No? Positive ang lalabas sa sagot, that is 301.7 times 10 cube. So, kung hindi pa ito kinonvert, kung diretso ito magiging Newton per square meter, ito yon, Newton per square meter or Pascal, or 301.7 kilopascal. So, that is the answer for that problem. Okay? Ngayon, kung merong nagkaroon ng deflection or nagkaroon ng parang pagtigil at nagbago yung kanyang height, let's say, halimbawa, ang scenario ay bumaba siya at this level, let's say ito yun, o kung meron man yung distance na z, okay, tapos umakyat siya to a certain level, tapos bababa ulit, mababago yung pressure na kailangan niyang i-work out. So, mag-iiba-iba yung value. Okay? Considering na constant pa rin yung ating density. Kung nagpapalit yung density, malamang mag-iiba pa rin yung value na ating ina-analyze. Okay? So, that's it for the variation of pressure for vertically in a fluid under gravity. Now, let's discuss the equality of pressure at the same level in a static fluid. So, when you say equality, so from the term equal, so it's safe to say that the values or the forces, the amount of forces are the same, given that they are on the same level. Okay? Just like this one, if P and Q are 2 points on the same level, so ito, zoom natin ng konti. Ito daw yung ating, okay, point P at point Q ay nasa isang level. So, ito yon. Yan. So, okay. A horizontal prism of fluid constant cross-section area will be in equilibrium. Kasi nga naman, it will produce the same forces. So, that is caused by P sub 1, which is in the cross-sectional area A, and P sub 2, on the other hand, with a cross-sectional area A then. So, therefore, F sub 1 na equal sa P sub 1A ay equal sa F sub 2 na equal sa P sub 2A. Okay. Since the fluid is at rest, there will be no horizontal shearing stresses on the side of the element. For static equilibrium, ayan, the sum of the forces will be equal. So, kung pare sila ng cross-sectional area, so maka-cancel out yung mga cross-sectional area at magiging ganito na. Okay? Wala na tayong weight. No, ito. This is weight, diba? So, wala na kasi nga, wala naman tayong vertical force maliban sa weight. So, hindi na natin makakasama yan sa consideration natin ng equality ng pressure kapag horizontal. So, thus, the pressure at any 2 points in the same level na ba, the fluid at rest will be the same. So, kung continuous yan, tulad nito, like this one, no? Yung P natin at yung ating Q ay on the same level, yung ating R at S on the same level. So, if that's the case, we could say that the pressure at P is equal to the pressure at Q, while the pressure at R is equal to pressure at S. So, ayan yung ating tinatawag na continuous body of a fluid. So, basta the same yung kanilang density. Okay, yun yung dapat tandaan. So, same fluid. Hindi pa din mag-iba. Of course, babalik tayo sa kanina pinag-usapan natin, yung imaginary plane, no? Wherein they will react on a different scale. So, kung may force yun, may reactive force, pero magkaiba ng density. Okay? So, hindi natin ma-apply yung concept na to na parehas sila ng pressure. Pwede kasi magkaiba. Magkaiba yung kanilang pressure pero magkaparehas ng possible force value. Okay? So, that is for the equality of pressure at the same level in a static fluid. Okay, so next let's have this general equation for the variation of pressure due to gravity from point to point in a static fluid. So let P be the pressure acting on the end P of an element fluid of cross-sectional area A and P plus delta P be the pressure at the other end Q. Ayan, nakikita nyo sa handout ninyo. So, ayan no, medyo in-incline natin yung kaninang horizontal. No, alanganin siyang horizontal, alanganin vertical. So, dito gagana yung component. However, since nasa isang line of action, no, yung ating pressure, so, most probably, ito ay summation of forces at that line of action. Okay? So, kaya, critical yung pag-dictate or paglagay natin ng delta S o yung distance between those two dahil ito ay naka-incline to an angle theta. Pero mas madali natin maintindihan yan if we consider yung condition sa equilibrium under the gravity. Okay, so una, the pressure at all points on horizontal plane must be the same. So, katulad niya ng ating Pascal's law. So, alam na, ano natin yun, given na sa atin yun, no? Napatunayan natin, na-prove na natin that pressure at any points or pressure in any direction at a certain point is the same. So, yun yung una. Next, the density of at all points on horizontal plane must be the same. So, parang katulad kanina, yung pinag-uusapan natin sa vertical and horizontal, no? Na prism ng ating fluid. And then, the change of pressure with the elevation is given by dP over dc is equal to negative rho g. Actually, galing din yan dito. Yan. Galing yan dito. So, yung ating ito, this is your dP. And this portion is yung anyong inyong d sub z. Yan. So, kung aayusin nyo yan, so lalabas na dP over dc is equal to negative rho g. Ito rin yun. No? Ito yung pinag-uusapan na yun. Ngayon, taking into account yung difference ng elevation, so magiging ganito na yan. Yung nakikita nyo sa baba na ginamit ito ng integral if hindi siya constant yung kanyang pag-change ng elevation. Okay? So, kung mayroong strip or may consideration lang. Okay? So, kung itutuloy yan, babalik lang din yan dito. No? Babalik lang din. Ito, ay magiging ganito pa din. Okay? For most problems involving fluids or liquids, it is usual to assume that the density rho is constant. Nagbabago lang naman yan because of the density. No? Kapag hindi constant ang density, pwede magpalit-palit talaga yung height. Okay? So, the same assumption can be made for gas if pressure differences are very small. So, yung gases, hindi natin pag-uusapan. We're going to focus muna sa liquid. Okay? So, yun yung ating consideration. So, hindi ko na masyadong mapahabain kasi nga, we've discussed yung mga unang portion which is yung kung vertical siya or naka-horizontal siya. Same yung concept nun. Okay? So, that's for the general equation ng variation of pressure due to gravity from point to point in a static fluid. Okay. So, now let's talk about pressure below layers of different liquids. So, in this topic, now we're going to talk about what if the fluids are, or the liquids in general, are placed, no, in a container. So, iba't ibang liquid. So, for, in this case, may liquid 1, liquid 2, and 3. So, malamang meron silang kanya-kanyang density. Ayan. So, kung may kanya-kanyang density, possible, may kanya-kanya silang unit weight. Okay? Ayan. Okay. So, kapag ganito, yung ating scenario or ating pag-usapan, let's have an assumption, no? We have our assumption sa ating ganitong klase ng scenario. First is, lahat ng pag-sum natin ng gamma times h, no? Gamma times h is positive if it is read downward. So, second assumption, gamma h is negative kung binabasa natin siya ng pataas. Okay? Yun yung mga assumption natin. So, i-consider natin itong tank na to. Yan. Tapos, gamit natin itong assumption natin na to. Okay? Na kapag yung gamma H binasa mo positive, pababa. At kapag yung gamma H binasa mo negative, kapag binasa mo siya pataas. Okay? So, let's have this. Consider the tank shown to be filled with liquids of different densities and with air at the top under a gauge pressure. Take note, ang ginamit na term is gauge pressure. So, measured pressure to. So, kung binigyan kayo ng absolute pressure, you have to convert it into gauge pressure muna. Okay? So, of P sub A, then the pressure at the bottom of the tank is, kung gauge pressure to, take note ng sinabi, gauge, dapat, yung mga pressure na magkakosed by the different liquids is a gauge pressure also, measured pressure. So, para makuha mo yon, yung pressure at the bottom, sabi dyan, the pressure at the bottom of the tank is equal to summation ng gamma H plus the pressure ng air. So, ano yung mga gamma H? Pressure at the bottom is, bakit pa gamma H? Because, magagaling ulit yan dito sa concept na to. Ayan. Sabi natin, kung meron tayong dalawang points, let's say ito yung point 1 at point 2. Yan. Ito na. Point 1, ito yung point 2. Okay? So, if this is your point 1, point 2, and this is your H, if meron kang given na gamma na liquid, so para makuha yan, that the difference in pressure, nakikita nyo, same na same. P sub 2 minus P sub 1 is equal to, ano ba itong rho G? Gamma. Pero in this case, negative. No? Negative. Negative gamma. And this Z sub 2 minus Z sub 1, ito yung ating H. Pero take note kung paano natin binabasa ulit yon. Sabi natin, parang mas mataas yung binabasa natin yung H, pagpababa, positive. So, mababago yung sign natin. So, pressure sub 2 minus pressure sub 1 is positive gamma H. Ito yung tinutukoy natin dito. Yan. So, kapag sinam natin yung pressure at the bottom, this is equal to gamma H sub 1 plus gamma H sub 2. Ayan, depende sa liquid. Plus gamma H sub 3 plus P sub A. That is the pressure at the bottom. Take note, gauge pressure yan. Okay? So, ito na yon yung ating, kung mas maraming liquid yan, of course, mas marami yung sinasum natin na gamma H. Saan galing yon? Dito. Yan. Diyan galing yan. Rho G is gamma. Okay? Gamma. And Z sub 2 minus Z sub 1 is H. Okay? Ngayon, dahil nga pabaliktad yung basa natin at mukhang we are dealing with the positive value nito, pagbabaliktad rin natin yung sign convention ng ating H. Kasi binabasa natin siya in a positive value, not negative. Okay? So, yun. No? Kaya, pagdating dito, ganito ang ating itsura pagbabasa. Kaya, ito yung assumption natin. Ang gamma H is positive kapag binasa mo pababa. Gamma H is negative kapag binasa mo siya pataas. Ano yung H na, ano yung positive negative dyan? Yung H. Kasi yung gamma hindi naman nagpapalit yan ng sign. That's a constant value for a liquid. No, yung H yung nababago yung sign. Depende sa assumption natin. Kung gusto niya pagbaliktad wala namang problema. But take note, kapag gano'n ang ginawa mo, you have to make sure na pabaliktad din yung basa mo sa mga values ng gauge pressure sa bottom and the top kung saan mo babasahin katulad nito. Okay, kung yan yung concern mo, pabaliktad. Kung ang positive pataas mo, dapat ito is a negative value. Bakit? Kasi dapat yung summation ng pressure mo, i-minus mo yung kung saan ka kumukuha ng pressure, that should be equal to 0 kasi by equilibrium. Okay? So for us to understand that, sagutan natin itong dalawang sample problem na to. Okay? Let's answer these two sample problem. Okay, so umpisa natin sa number 1. An open tank contains 5.76 meters of water and covered with 3.23 meter of kerosene na merong unit weight na equal sa 8.2 kilonewton per cubic meter. Ang tanong sa atin is, find the pressure at the interface and at the bottom of the tank. So, yan. Sa atin, sample problem number 1. Ano daw ang interface o pressure sa interface at the bottom of the tank? So, dalawa. So, hindi natin masasagutan to if wala tayong illustration. So, umpisa man natin. Open daw yung tank. So, let's say ito yung tank natin. Yan. Bawa yan yung tank. Hindi ata gitna. Yan. So, sabi, meron daw, a tank contains 5.76 meters of water covered with 3.23 meters of kerosene. So, let's say ito yung ating tubig. Ganito siguro. Yan, taasan natin. O, yan. Ay, ano nangyari? Yan, let's say yan. Ito yung ating tubig. Yan. Tapos, covered daw siya ng 3.23 meters of kerosene. Yan, so this is, ito yung ating 5.76 meters of water and this is 3.23 meters of kerosene. So yung pula, ito yung ating kerosene and yung blue, ito yung ating water. Yan. So yung kerosene, binigyan tayo ng unit weight na gamma, ano daw to? 8.2 yan, kilonewton per cubic meter. Malamang yung tubig, alam natin na this is 9.81 kilonewton per cubic meter. Yan. So, tinatanong lang sa atin is, ano daw ang pressure sa interface and pressure at the bottom? So, ito tinatanong. Ano daw yung pressure dito? So, ito yung P at the bottom. At ano daw yung pressure sa interface? Ito yung interface, yung gitna. Diktik natin siya as P sub A. So, P sub A is the pressure at the interface and P sub B is pressure at the bottom. So, umpisa natin sa pressure at the interface, P sub A. So, P sub A is equal to gamma ng kerosene times the height ng kerosene. Yun lang, wala na. Open ba yung tank sa atmosphere? Open. So, that is P sub A is equal to 8.20 kilonewton per cubic meter multiplied by height h na 3.23 meters. Ayan. So, it will give us a value yan, na 26.486 kilonewton per square meter or kilopascal. So, that is the pressure at the interface. Ngayon, ano naman daw ang pressure sa bottom ng tank? Pressure sa bottom ng tank is gamma H ng kerosene plus gamma H no water. Eh, meron na tayo nito ng kerosene, 26.486 kilonewton per square meter plus gamma na lang ng water, 9.81 kilonewton per cubic meter multiplied by the height na 5.76. So, ang pressure natin sa bottom is 82.9916 kilonewton per square meter, or kung gusto nyo i-round off or round up depende sa instruction, or kung kilopascal or pascal. So that is for sample problem number 1. So of course, mas mataas kapag nasa ilalim. Siyempre, mas mataas yung height difference. Take note na, yung height difference dito, depende sa assumption na gusto natin. Balikan natin. Kapag gusto nating positive, so, in-assume natin na pababa ang basa, positive value. Pwede rin naman to negative. Yun nga lang, that assumption or that sign conveys na iba yung direction ng flow na pagbabasa mo ng height. No? So, kung ang gusto mong basa ng height ay pababa, positive, okay lang. Kung gusto mong pababa, negative, okay lang din. That sign indicates yung direction. Ito yun. Yan o. Direction lang ng inyong pagbabasa. Okay? So, that's it for sample problem number 1. So, now let's proceed with sample problem number 2. Ayan. Sabi dito, in the figure shown, ayan, nakikita nyo sa baba, no? The absolute pressure at the bottom of the tank, if the atmospheric pressure is 101.08 kilopascal and the absolute pressure at the bottom of the tank is 232.5 kilopascal, what is the specific gravity of olive oil? O yun yung sinabi. Ano daw? May binigay eh. So, isa-isay muna natin. Atmospheric pressure. So, kung binigay ng atmospheric, malamang meron tong gauge. So, 101.08 kilopascal. Ang sabi, yung pressure daw at the bottom, eto. Let's say ito yun. Yung pressure at the bottom is 232.5 kilopascal. Absolute. Kung absolute yan, dapat maging gauge pressure yan. Paano? So, P gauge para sa bottom, that is P absolute minus P atmospheric. Dahil alam natin that P absolute is gauge plus atmospheric pressure. So, P ng bottom na dapat ay gauge, that's equal to 232.5 minus 101.08. Ayan, given. And alam natin na unit yan kilopascal, so that is equal to 131.42. 42 kilopascal. Take note, this is a gauge pressure. Ayan. Tandaan ha, gauge pressure dapat. So, kung gauge pressure, so, tinatanong naman sa atin sa problem ay, ano daw tong specific gravity ng olive oil? Ano daw yan? Ito. Ano daw to? Yan. Ano? Ay. Sorry. Yan. Ano daw yung olive oil na yan? Na specific gravity. Okay? So, para makompute natin yan, so, gamitan natin ng summation ng gamma H. Ngayon, may pressure ba sa taas? Wala, no? So, dito sa taas, wala. So, ang pressure dito ay 0. Wala tayong binigay sa problem. So, pagsasama-samay lang natin, ang kailangan lang natin is pressure at the bottom of the tank. That is summation ng gamma H. Anong ulit daw yun? Gauge pressure, 131.42 kilopascal. So, 131.42 kilonewton per square meter, kilopascal, no? Is equal to gamma H ng Sia oil. That is, binigyan tayo ng mga specific gravity. So, kung para makuha natin ang gamma, i-multiply natin yung specific gravity. 0.89 times gamma ng water. Lagyan muna natin. Ibahin natin yung sulat. Times gamma ng water multiplied by height. Ano yung height natin? 1.5 meters. Ayan. Plus water. So, meron siyang na specific gravity, gamma ng water, multiplied by 2.5 meters. Then, ano pa sunod? Plus, ito hindi natin alam, yun yung S. Gawin natin medyo matingkad na kulay. Yan. S times gamma ng water, multiplied by, ano yung height ng olive oil? 2.9 meters. Yan. Then, plus, yan. 13.6 sa mercury, multiplied by gamma ng water. Ano yung height niyan? 0.4 meter. Okay, so ano nga ulit to? So, lagay natin. So, this is for ito ating SAE oil. Ito naman, ito yung ating water. This part is the olive oil. And this is for the so, ito yung ating mercury. So, since lahat sila merong gamma ng water, pwede natin may factor out yan. So, lalabas, pwede natin gawin is divide natin lahat ng gamma ng water. So, this is 131.42 kilonewton per square meter over gamma ng water na 9.81 kilonewton per cubic meter is equal to equal siya sa pagsamasamahin na natin 0.89 times 1.5 meters plus 1.0 times 2.5 meters plus S times 2.9 meters plus 13.6 times 0.4 meters. So, pag simplify natin to, 131.42 divided by 9. Yan. So, yan yung ating kalalabasan, no? And then, so, naka-fraction form to. So, iusod lang natin. Magiging anong unit ba nito? Meter na lang, no? This is, gawin natin yung fraction form dito. This is 13142. Parang uusod lang ng decimal place to eh. 981 meters, kasi maka-cancel out yun, is equal to, pagsamasamahin lang muna natin yung mga may known value. 0.89 times 1.5 plus 2.5 plus 13.6 times 0.4. That is 9.275. 275 plus 2.9 S. Yan. So, yung S value natin, pag sinimplify natin to further, yan. Okay. Lalabas yan na yung ating fraction dito na 13142 over 981 minus 9.275. Ayan. Divide natin sa 2.9 is equal to 1.421218672 and so on. So, yung ating specific gravity, kung 3 decimal places siya, no? 1.4212. Or for example, yan, 3 decimal places. Or 4 decimal places rather. Ayan na. So, that's it for our specific gravity ng olive oil. So, that's for our first part of our discussion regarding principles of hydrostatic.